Week 14, UK lockdown! Now, many of you might be wondering why I'm sat here in a tent, but of course this weekend was meant to be Glastonbury, so we thought we'd bring you some festival feeling right into your homes. Now, Corona has not only interfered with festivals and live gigs, it's also impacted our daily lives, meaning many of us now work from home or, in fact, have been placed on a furlough scheme. Week 14 sees the end of the government's first phase of the furlough scheme, which means that many jobs that have been subsidised by the UK government are now at risk. Now, a few of the eagle-eyed lockdown news viewers noticed that we came to you slightly late last week. This was, in fact, due to me receiving my own traumatic news of losing both my job and my house in the same week.
Don't worry, it's all fine now.
Now, the reason why I'm sharing such personal information is because that this will be a reality for many people as the furlough scheme comes to an end and the economic landscape of the UK changes dramatically. To soften this economic blow, the government have agreed to reduce social distancing restrictions from 2 metres to 1 metre and have agreed to opening pubs and restaurants back on the 4th of July.
Hooray! I'll drink to that.
With the government's ever-changing vague guidelines on easing out of lockdown and the news that pubs and restaurants are reopening, this plus Liverpool winning the Premier League, Brits have begun to celebrate up and down the country.
Hooray!
Celebrations include block parties in London to Liverpool fans celebrating outside Anfield and along the dockside. Now, most of these gatherings have been broken up by the police. But here at Lockdown News, we've found that if you want to celebrate up en masse with friends, we found a loophole. We suggest that you
Hit the beach.
with Brits being cooped up in their homes or held to ransom in their local areas for 14 weeks, with the temperatures soaring this week, the call of the sea was too much for many to resist. Beaches like Bournemouth received record numbers of visitors who enjoyed frolicking in the waters on Britain's hottest days of the year so far. Sadly, these joyful day trippers turned out to be more like day tippers, as they left up to 2 tons of rubbish behind them for locals to clear up.
You dirty things.
And we won't even talk about the fact that most of the public facilities, including toilets, were closed in these locations. Let's just hope no one went swimming with their mouth open.
Ew!
Now, if you're one of the many Brits who are hoping to escape Britain's filthy beaches and escape to foreign climes this summer, many Brits were pleased to hear the news that the UK government has reversed their requirement to quarantine for up to 14 days upon returning back to the UK if you're travelling to a European city with a low R rating. The UK government are planning to set up air corridors.
I thought it was bridges.
The air corridors which will be set up between these safe countries, which include France, Spain, Italy and Germany, which slightly contradicts the news this week, which shows that many countries, including Germany, are now facing a second wave of infection and looking at going into a second lockdown.
This is just madness.
Now, as this is Glastonbury weekend, we thought we'd end on a musical note.
Get it? Musical note?
This time with guest lyrics coming from our favourite musical songbird, Mr. Donald Trump.
You are fake news. Sir, go ahead. Can you stake?
Now, we all know the power of music, as does Donald Trump, who has decided to create a playlist for his supporters attending his rallies. However, it appears that Mr. Trump forgot to check with the artists and get their permission before compiling this list.
Naughty, naughty.
Music legends Tom Petty and the Rolling Stones have taken legal action and have asked Donald to cease and desist from playing their songs at his rallies in future. Here at Lockdown News, we've sent Donald a new mixtape with more appropriate suggestions on. Well, that was UK Lockdown Week 14. Join me, if you can, for UK Lockdown Week 15! Come on, Stinks, let's go get a beer.